What's up? It's Eric. Some of you have been following me for a minute. Some of you have just found my page, and this might even be your first video from me. But I wanted to break down today how I came from a scrawny yet passionate high schooler who dedicated 3 years of his life to fitness, building out his physique, getting it just to jump into a full-time job, having to balance such a hectic lifestyle, and sacrificing his physique and health in the process to pursue that money and the career, which led me to being in a bad place physically and mentally. And I was forced to have to do something to rebuild what I've lost, which is what I'm going to present to you today. So this video is going to be about 40 minutes long. If you're looking for a dopaminergic video that's entertaining, this is not the one for you. And to be honest, if you're not willing to sit through 40 minutes, you're not ready for a huge transformation physically nor mentally. But I can promise you that if you follow through this video, you're going to get a ton of value. So be ready to take notes, be in a room where you can listen, it's quiet, and I hope you guys enjoy. Get ready to change your life. Alright, so we're going to jump right into how you can lose fat and get shredded in 180 days without living in the gym or dieting like a monk. Okay, the purpose of this video, once again, is just for people who are truly busy, have full schedules, and you still want to stick to your fitness goals to build out the life you want, build the physique that you want, and live that way, right? This is all using the true form system that I've been able to create. And as you can see here, this is how I looked. You know, I started off skinny, I got bulky, and now this is somewhat what I maintain year round. Even with a filled schedule, no matter if it's, you know, I have a lot of free time on vacation or I have 10-hour work days ahead of me, it doesn't matter. This is how I look. Okay? So, how exactly was I able to do this? Well, after 3 years of trial and error in the gym, I felt like I figured it all out, right? I was in there like 6 to 7 days a week. I was eating 4 to 5 meals a day. Like, I was training for at least an hour and 30 minutes to 3 hours. And yeah, I've learned a lot. I've basically been able to get as much knowledge as possible about muscle hypertrophy. And I feel like I've built my ideal physique throughout these 3 years. But the thing was, my life was so easy, right? My only responsibilities were my studies, the girlfriend that I was with at the time, and playing video games, right? I was a teenager. But once life hit, after graduation, moving away to work full time because I wanted to pursue a career, learn from, you know, my family business and see how they operate in this warehouse. I wanted to make money as well. Everything started to crumble. You know, what I've built in years was lost in a couple of weeks. And the habits and routines that I've had prior felt like it just went away just because I had such a huge workload ahead of me. And my back was really against the wall here. I've been able to discover the new system that brought me back looking healthier, even leaner and stronger, right? And we're going to get into that. So, who is this for? Okay? If you're constantly feeling low energy and have no drive to do anything, this is for you. And I felt this way so many times when I had full days of work. I went home and I felt absolutely drained. Physically, mentally, I didn't even feel like doing anything towards my personal development. That was the last thing on my mind. If you had fitness on the back burner for a while and you're afraid of the direction your health is going, this is for you. Because for me, there would be times where I'd wake up with nosebleeds. This is something like I have a weak nose naturally, and it started coming back up again after it's been gone for a while since I was able to, you know, get fit. Like, I felt a bunch of migraines and headaches when I'd wake up, probably because of my lack of sleep and, you know, really doing a number on my body, because if you've ever worked at a warehouse, this is just what happens. if you want to make fat loss and muscle gain literally automatic while spending less than 5 hours a week in the gym, this is for you. Honestly, nobody has to do like 2 hour training sessions every single time, doing more days out of the week than they have to. So that's why having a lifestyle where fat loss and muscle gain is literally just supported, then that's just how like if you truly want that, this is for you, right? If you don't like your appearance and it affects how you perform, interact with people, this is for you. And I'm the first to say, right when my health and my physique started deteriorating, like I was just so much less confident, you know? Like the people that I would meet at the warehouse, the older people, like I mean, they knew that I hit the gym a lot. Even my family around me, right? They knew I hit the gym. They knew that I was a gym guy and I've been going for years, but like me, like just having less muscle and having nothing to really show for it, it just kind of embarrassed me, you know? So it's so much worse when I was better before, but now like it just went away just because of some bad circumstances. And lastly, if you're tired of living the same cycle with no fulfillment and want to see change, this is for you. Okay? If your life feels like that same constant routine that you're just not content with, this is truly for you. You can start today. Now, who is this not for? If you're good at making excuses to yourself and others about how you can't do things, this is not for you. And this is the biggest thing that I hate so much. Making excuses to others and trying to maneuver your way from, doing the actual work and confronting it. And even worse, you make excuses to yourself, right? Because how does that get you anywhere when you make excuses? It doesn't get you any closer to the goals that you already want, which is to get in the best shape of your life and live the life that you want, right? If you're looking for what's easy and convenient to do instead of what's required, this is not for you, okay? Because there's no such thing as easy and convenient when it comes to getting a good physique. It's going to be hard at first. It's going to be very difficult for your current level of how you're operating, but obviously gets better over time. You just can't be first searching for that easy and convenience, because that's never going to happen. If you always prioritize pleasure and feelings instead of your purpose and goals, this is not for you, okay? You're not going to like hitting the weights then if your feelings are on the line, because once you feel that burn, once you need to push till failure and you're not there yet, and it already feels that slight burn, that slight discomfort, and you just quit right after, this is not for you, bro. Because you're not willing to do what you need to in order for you to meet the requirement and fulfill your purpose and your goals. If you're looking for a one and done challenge and planning to drop things when you get what you want, this is not for you, okay? What I'm about to teach you isn't a one and done challenge. This is not no 75 hard. This is not a 90-day challenge, 90-day lock-in challenge or something like that, some boot camp. This is something that you sustainably do for life. This is what you integrate into your current lifestyle to still be able to do everything else, but have this for the rest of your life. If you have a victim mentality, thinking it's impossible for you to have an elite physique in bad conditions, this is not for you, okay? Stop coping by saying, I have kids, I have a full job, I have school, I have my studies. All these things don't matter, because there's people out there who literally do it, including me, who have 8, 12-hour days, even entrepreneurs who do even higher hour days, right? And they have a better physique than you, okay? So if you keep thinking this way with this victim mentality of, oh no, I'm so special, these things are not possible for me, this is not for you, okay? You have to actually believe it for you to achieve it. Now, here is the truth. You don't need to wait for better circumstances or invest more time and resources to get an above average physique. And by the time things slow down, it's too late anyway. Okay? Waiting for retirement, waiting for whenever time frees up when you take care of this or that. If you don't start now, you're never going to start later. Like, what is the difference of tomorrow than today? There's absolutely no difference. What makes you think that tomorrow you're going to start when you haven't been able to make that decision today, right? Getting shredded only needs intentional action with the time and resources you already have. It's not about having more. It's not about being more excessive. It's about doing less. It's about having more intention with that same amount of time, with those same resources that you have around you, okay? And I'm about to show you that from shorter but effective workouts you can enjoyably do long term, dieting system that you can fall back on when time is scarce, having structure instead of relying on motivation or guesswork. We don't want to rely on those little bursts of motivation and having to guess your way through what to do next. What do you think is best? These things are what's going to allow you to have this foolproof system that you can add onto your life instead of have it consume your life and get the results that you actually want to get. Okay? Don't worry, I'm not going to let that happen to you. Okay? You don't have to put more in to get more out. When did it ever take more to eat less? Like, it's all about precision with the high leverage tasks that you should be doing to get a higher ROI, right? An ROI on your time, your efforts, your intentional actions towards your goals. It doesn't take more, and you have to understand that. And if you want that person to be you, I'll show you exactly how to use your time efficiently in the gym to look better, be stronger, and leave satisfied every single time. How to prepare macro-friendly meals to be convenient and save time and money long term while fitting in foods that you like. You don't have to be restrictive, right? No restrictive diets here. How to lose at least 10 to 30 pounds of fat sustainably using a lifelong fitness system. But before we get into it, in case you don't know me, here is a brief backstory. I wasn't good at sports despite trying, so I mostly stayed inside. I was pretty introverted, very antisocial, and it was like a bad habit of me to do. But what I would give myself credit for is having a creative mind. Like, I liked to draw. I was really good at it naturally. I loved watching movies and trying to create my own, making videos. And this is kind of where I came to today. But in high school, sophomore year, I spent the next 3 years until senior year dedicated to gym and content creation with extreme obsession. I was doing those extremities, like I said, staying in the gym for hours, doing it so many days a week. Like, it was kind of my life. I was that gym bro. But after graduation, I worked full time at a warehouse for 8 to 15 hours, 6 to 7 days a week. I would average like 5 hours of sleep. On Sunday, I would catch up and sleep for like 10, 12 hours. But hey, that was my life. And in real time, I saw my health deteriorate. My muscles shrunk. I felt low energy with headaches, nosebleeds, like I said. And it forced me in a position to have to set up this system to rebuild what I've lost under these set circumstances, right? You can literally see here, I had to wake up and clock in at 6 a.m. and I would stay there until 3 p.m., almost 5 p.m. some days, because maybe they needed overtime, like out of nowhere, to do what I was doing in the warehouse, right? Carrying boxes, doing inventory, all that stuff. Using the paddle shift, like paddle, that box, I forgot what it was called. But, I was still able to be in this shape while having that after learning the system. Right? You can see I was at the warehouse as well, carrying this trash when it was like a cleanup day. And yeah, The true form system is what I built through my own trial and error by having my back against the wall, desperate to figure out how I can maintain a shredded, jacked physique while operating my life outside of fitness. It's not always about the gym, right? We have lives outside of that. But now I've decided to break it all down for you for free. In the following steps, I'll outline the entire process from start to finish of what I did to accomplish these results, so you can also use my true form system to have an insane physique doing less while balancing life. So, this is the true form system broken down, doing less and getting shredded. Number 1, number 2, and number 3. The first one is foundation. Understand how to train and eat the right way, getting used to how this is implemented into your schedule, how it looks like, and all that stuff. Once you've laid out the foundation and understand how it's going to look like fitting into your schedule and what you're going to be doing, the second thing is progression. Progressive overload in the gym, focus on consistency with the system. And lastly, number 3, once you've been able to do that for long enough, you see the results, you adjust when necessary, and you continue your new lifestyle. Now, I'll show you exactly how I used each step to transform myself and many others that have gone through this process. The first one, foundation. So, feel free to screenshot this, but how to train and eat the right way. So what you're going to be doing when it comes to training and nutrition, you'll train for 3 to 5 hours a week total, doing a 3-day split of upper body, lower body, and full body. All right, I've listed the muscle groups if you're not familiar already, and the structure of it is each day and each exercise is going to be 2 working sets per exercise in the 6 to 10 rep range. Before you start your working sets, have like 1 to 2 warm-up sets where you are getting blood into your muscles, doing like light movements of your weightlifting, right? Not any like static stretches or none of that. You just have to weight lift, but with lighter weights for a higher volume. But after you do that, you feel warmed up. You do 2 working sets only for the rest of the workout for each exercise. And since you only have 2, it forces you to have more intention with what you do. If you didn't challenge yourself in these 2 sets, like, you have to move on. You can't just do more sets until you feel it. That's why you have to make them count. And you're only doing 1 exercise per muscle group. That includes your upper chest, that includes your rear delts, which is part of your shoulders, your triceps, the inner and outer tricep, all these things. You be more focused, train with intention, and you take sets close to failure or to absolute failure within the rep range, right? 6 to 10 is your rep range for every single exercise, and you have to be struggling on those last few reps within those ranges, right? That can be 7, that can be 9, whatever it is. You have to get close to failure or to failure and stop there, but actually like train yourself, actually challenge yourself, Warm up before training, like I said, slow and controlled reps with high intensity. You want to be able to control it. That's just training 101, right? And you're going to pair this 3-day split. By the way, it doesn't have to be on set days. It can be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It could be Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. It can be Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Like, it's so easy to do that, like, whenever random things come up, like, you can still be able to stick to this, okay? But a non-negotiable is 10K steps daily paired with your lifting weights, because this just literally burns calories automatically, It's just like an extra 300 calories that you can do without even thinking. Like, regular, just being at work, if you walk a lot or just moving around, you'll probably be able to get 3,000 to 5,000 steps. And with some intentional steps on top of that, 5,000. Like, you can easily hit this every single day you do this. Moving on to the dieting and meals, right? You need a nutrition goal because that sets what you are supposed to hit every single day. So you figure out your maintenance calories and subtract it by 250 to 500 calories for that calorie deficit. To make things simple, your maintenance calories is just how many calories you eat to stay the same, right? How much you weigh right now, how you look right now. And then you minus that by 250 to 500 increments. Minus that so that you're in a calorie deficit, right? That's a deficit from the calories you're eating to stay the same, if that makes sense. Now, you pair that with a protein target and you assess that by having a gram of protein per your desired body weight. So let's say right now I weigh 150 pounds and I want to get to 130 pounds. I would eat 130 grams of protein every single day, right? And I need to be able to stick to that. Preparation. You're going to eat nutrient-dense whole foods, your lean proteins, fermented veggies, clean carbs and fats like avocados, potatoes, fermented veggies. I love to eat kimchi. That's why I added in there. Pickles, just for the gut health. Lean protein, right? Less fat content and more of just the actual meat itself. You can do chicken thigh but skinless. You can do 90% ground beef. These are wonderful options. And the biggest thing in saving time is cooking in bulk. We all know cooking process sucks for most people that are extremely busy, but if you fail to prepare, you are preparing to fail. You need to prepare beforehand if you want to meet your goals. And you can't just compensate by going to Panda Express, right? Because that's how you ended up where you are right now. You need to be conscious about those things. So you can cook once for the entire day or once on a set day for the week, right? On a Sunday, you can cook for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday and pack those meals up. Or every single day, you can just cook once, which is what I was able to do. Like, I would work all day, have a meal that I prepared the night before for lunch, and then by the time I got home from work, I would cook in bulk. So like my 2 meals from 3 p.m. to like 7 p.m. Before and after I worked out, and it just made it so much easier. The more simpler you can do it, the easier it is for you to stick to long term. If you overcomplicate things and try to figure out like different meals every single time, like every man should just have the same rotation of 5 meals, and you should live by this. And yeah, that's literally the magic on being able to consistently stick to your nutrition goals. And by the way, it's not up here, but you obviously are tracking these things. Like before you cook them, it just takes an extra 2 minutes to put it on a scale and weigh everything out before you cook it. And knowing that these things fit your macros, you can eat it without any worry. The one time that I'm cooking for the entire day, I am tracking it. And once the tracking is finished, it's out the way and I just have to worry about eating. And that's about it. Trust me, these little things that you're doing are gonna only positively compound over time. This is what you have to do if you want to be able to have an above average physique. Like, it doesn't take much more time than you are spending. It just takes so much more intention and effort that most people are not willing to do it. Now, this is how it's going to fit in your schedule. This is probably how it's going to look like, right? Your training, if we break this down into simplicity, the duration of sets is like 20 seconds or less every single set you're doing. So you're doing 2 sets, that's like 40 seconds, around there. Rest is 2 to 5 minutes timed in between sets. If you're truly on a time crunch, like you can time yourself after you just finished a set to give yourself 2 minutes before you go into the next one. And this is literally optimal efficiency. But what this means is you're actually working out for 15 to 20 minutes at a time, and most of it is rest. So the session should only be an hour 30 maximum, right? And that's 4 to 5 hours a week. In the same order, this can be any day of the week and adjust if necessary. Like I said before, it can be Monday, Tuesday, Friday. It can be Monday, Saturday, Sunday. It doesn't matter. Moving on, dieting. Tracking allows you to fit in what you like while checking off the boxes. It teaches you how to view food. Because if you are putting in the effort to track your macros, the days where you want to eat out, like me personally now, I eat out once or twice a week. And since I know how to view food now, like I know a rough estimate of how many calories or protein this certain stuff is, like it truly just teaches you to elevate. Like you know so much more about food and what it does to you, that when I eat out, I mean, it just gives me that clarity. And honestly, it's better. Some people might think, oh, you have an eating disorder, but no, you have your eating just in order, right? And I'm able to eat out knowing what it's going to do to me, and I'm able to still enjoy it while still hitting my fitness goals. Like it's so crazy. And if you're prepping, you won't ever have to rely on junk. Like I said before, you're putting in the reps of tracking your macros, you're putting in the reps of preparing your meals before so that you can rely on it once you need it. It's going to make it so that you don't have to rely on bullshit that makes you look worse. This compounds over time, saving you money and time long term, I'm telling you. And the thing that I was literally describing, holy crap, the thing that I was literally describing right here is shown. Like, screenshot this if you want to, but I went ahead of myself and I said what I was already preaching. Okay? Time and money spent on buying outside fast food that you usually do anyway can be used to track macros, prep meals, and buy nutrient-dense, high-quality groceries. It's all about just allocating that same amount of time, and instead of wasting it on bullshit, you intentionally use it to hit your fitness goals, right? It doesn't take more to make the right choice. Number 2, progression. Now that you see like how it's going to look into your schedule, this is where you focus on progressing moving forward. So, progressive overload in the gym. Your muscles won't grow unless you make them, okay? The simple concept is you need to increase the challenge over time so that you're actually growing. If you use like if 20-pound dumbbells were hard for you before and then it gets easy but you still stick to those weights, you're gonna just stay the same. Okay, maybe you'll see a little bit of a change because from it being hard to it being easy, it gave you that little sense of growth in strength. That does make you grow by a little bit, but you will plateau unless you move to heavier weights. Okay, so our aim now is to focus on increasing the weights or the reps. Once you reach 10 reps on an exercise, increase weight by 5 pounds. And ideally, you want to aim to increase by 5 pounds on every single exercise, every single week. Okay? What you have to remember is same weight means you have the same physique. Now, consistency. You have proof of concept that it works, okay? Because you probably, after doing this for a couple of weeks now, you see the change, or you see how it's making you feel at the least. The small progress is still progress, but if it's not enough, you have to remember that small progress is still progress. Let that drive you to continue when motivation is low. So, the small progress over time equals big change, and you need to remember that every single time it feels like you're not doing enough. You see where things fit in your busy schedule, learn to adapt and get used to it. This is non-negotiable. All the things that I've told you to do with your training and nutrition, these things are non-negotiable. You have to be able to stick to it, and it's so much easier anyway, now that you understand about the intention behind it and how you can still adjust when your things get busy, right? It's only 3 days, it's only 2 sets, and you prepared meals so you only have to rely on that instead of anything else. Now, the 3 signs of progress, no matter how big or small it is number 1, the weight scale. Your body weight is changing. Number 2, your visual change. You look in the mirror and you see a difference, or you look in the photos and you see a difference compared to before. Lifting heavier or weights feel easier, right? You're increasing by those 5 pounds, or you're able to do more reps and the weights just feel lighter and you're able to do it. These are the 3 signs of progress you should be looking out for, and over time, these will help you continue and fuel your drive when your motivation's not there. Lastly, number 3 is mastery. Lifestyle mastery. So, you've been able to understand all the concepts in the simplest form. Truly sustainable way to check every necessary box towards your dream physique, removing the excessiveness or unhealthy obsession, right? You don't have to do so much. When I was doing so much, that was only because I had all the time in the world to do it. I literally had no responsibilities. And that's why when things came, everything crumbled. But with this system, you adapt to things, like unexpected overtime at work. Remember, like I said, dates, errands, holidays, vacations, trips. You just simply have to push the next training session for another day in the week. As long as you stick to 3 within the week, it doesn't matter what day it is. It matters more about the order of what you're doing it, right? Upper body, lower body, full body. Upper body, lower body, full body. But it can be any day of the week. It's all to your preference. You continue this lifestyle by, if progress is plateauing, let's say you aren't losing as much body fat as you want to, and you don't see the number going down on the scale, then keep your protein, but you just have to adjust your calories. It's as simple as that, right? And like I said, by those 250 to 500 increments, subtracting it. So let's say your maintenance calorie starting this was 2,000, and you listened to Eric Trin and you went down by like 250. So that makes it 1,750, right? So you're eating 1,750 calories a day. But by the time you made a bit of progress, it plateaued, then just go down by another 250. So that's what? 450, something like that. And you can easily do this until you reach your desired body weight and look, but you realistically only need to do it once or twice, okay? But this is why all of these things work, because preparation removes daily decision fatigue. You don't have to worry about what you're going to eat. You've already tracked it. You know it's good for you. You can just go and eat it and rely on it whenever you have to eat something at work or at home, okay? Less to do gives you less pressure, which means in turn more consistency. Nobody feels like training if they know they have to do so many workouts, so many sets, so many reps, and you have to stay in there for like more than 2 hours. When I would have to look at basically the mountain of things that I had to do, it would make it so I was so demotivated by it that I didn't want to do it. And it was like a force to have to do it. And, contemplate in my mind if I wanted to or not. But doing less, knowing that it's less, makes it easier to follow to, especially if you know that it's going to benefit you. And the idea behind it is you're compensating doing more with having intention, intensity, and efficiency. Okay? It's not doing more. It's having intention, having more intensity, and efficiency with what you're doing. So, more doesn't always equal better, right? And for me, I thought that the more I was willing to put in, the more I got out, which worked because of my circumstances, but I literally had 0 responsibilities and all the time in the world, which once we grow up,
we don't have anymore. Life hit, and I realized that I built a foundation on sand, not rock. That's why I focused on higher return tasks. I prepared better, and I worked around my schedule without replacing anything. I still had my job. I still had my family time. I still had my social time, my relationships, but I was still able to be in phenomenal shape and live the life that I truly was meant to live. Okay? Because now I easily maintain my goal physique while adapting to any life circumstances, whether it's good or bad. Okay? It can be 20-hour days in this shithole, or it can be no work at all. I'm still able to look the same that I am, and if anything, it only will benefit me with my fitness goals. This is exactly how clients I've ran the system through saw veins, abs, striations for the first time while having an entire life to focus on and enjoy. Like my guy Michael here, which was a real estate agent. He came to me so worried about how to diet. He knew he was supposed to track macros and do all this stuff, but he didn't really have any drive to or reason to do it until I was able to just keep him accountable, look at the food he was eating, and show him the system. And it made it so much easier for him to show up for house tourings and also work his side job. By the way, working for 10 hours until 2 a.m. in the morning, he still was able to get pretty damn lean and build some muscle too. And my guy Ethan, as a student pursuing college career, he's doing research now and it's taking a lot of his time. And on top of that, he has a long-term relationship with his girlfriend, which, you know, the mental roller coasters that come from this makes it so that you are mentally drained. Having to do research, like, these things will take a toll. You don't really have much activity, but this is why those 10K steps and having this easily doable system helps him remove his love handles, which is one of the biggest things that he was struggling with, and get to an amazing physique that overall just helped with all the other things, his relationships and his career. And lastly, Mark, as an engineer and father, and when I was working with him, he's like 60 years old. He's on the computer all the time, doesn't do any activities, and it's really highly stressful being an engineer focusing on building houses and stuff. But having the system, he was able to lose fat even in his old age, where he didn't even believe was possible for him. Before meeting me, he was only losing 1 pound per month. And I was like, brother, you can 4x that, right? So implementing the systems, eating foods that actually made him feel good instead of starving himself, he was able to lose 20 to 30 pounds, right? And you can see, like, you could even look on my Instagram, so many more testimonials, but this is just what the impact of the Trueform system is able to have on your life as somebody with such a filled schedule. Now that you understand exactly how this process works, I have an offer for you. If you are 20 to 40 years old with highly ambitious goals for a well-rounded life, you want to look that way, you want to feel high energy and have that energy flow to your responsibilities where you can attack it no problem instead of having to be worse off. If you're working long hours that drain you mentally and physically with no energy to work on yourself, how much it occupies your life, and if you're scared of the direction your health and physique or mind is going because of that, and you are tired of thinking, tired of waiting, and looking around for what fits in your life, you're ready to start looking good, feeling good, performing at high levels compared to everybody else around you, just being that person for the people around you, your family, your friends, your coworkers, then work with me in getting shredded in 180 days without living in the gym or dieting like a monk. We will hop on a call, click the first link in the description, book a call with me, and we'll talk. I'll qualify to see if we're a good fit to work with each other. I will implement my Trueform system to replicate what I've been able to do for myself and many others and do it in less than half the time, half the cost, and half the headache that it would take for you to do it on your own. And I'm truly confident that I can do this for you, that in the first 30 days of us working with each other and you don't see results, I'll give your money back, because I care more about the ability that I'm able to help you than the actual money itself. Worst case scenario, we don't work with each other. I can at least point you in the right direction and you have more clarity moving forward with your decisions about making this transformation. But I hope this video was valuable, and I'm looking forward to speaking with you. I'll see you guys in the next one.